Okay. I'm just trying to make sure all my devices are set up. Hi everybody, looks like we're getting on. Okay. All right, looks good on my end. How does it look on your end? Everybody okay? Whoops. Okay. All right, I can see that Ronnie is here, and Connie, and Donna, my sister Kathy, Cindy Todd, Joanne. Welcome, welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. I have a couple of cool tricks tonight. All right, looks good, sounds good. We're ready to roll. Hi, Sharon, welcome. Okay, so most of you know that my name is Corrine Sandin. From Stampin' with Corrine. I teach stamping, scrapbooking. I've been doing it for many, many years here in the Lewiston, Auburn area. Tonight's class is a technique class. I have a couple of little tricks for you. One is an oldie that some of you may have done, but sometimes it's fun to revisit those old ones. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping. If you would like to place an online order and your order is less than $150, I would appreciate it if you could use this host code. If you need it, you can either PM me or it should be on my business page. And then I only have one kit left for the upcoming paper share that will be ready in a couple of weeks. I showed you the paper last week, but I will show you again. So you will get 12 sheets. Pretty golds. More gold, multiple colors. The back sides are usually pretty neutral. So anybody want that last kit? All right. Okay. So that's that piece. And in your kit, you get a fourth of the package of the paper. You get a half a package of embellishment, some twine, a complete sample in your kit that you can make at home. Typically, I try to keep it so you would just need to put a green in. The cost is $15. I think that's it. If you'd like to make them here, not next week, but the following week, you can make an appointment with me and come make your cards here. So let me know if anybody's interested in that last kit. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the In Color Club. I did get my pre-order today. I wanted to show you the beautiful papers. So this is Starry Sky. This is the Parakeet Party. And I'm going to get the, everybody thinks it's the same color as Granny Apple Green, but it's really different. It's hard to see it on the camera, but this is actually a little bit lighter than Granny Apple Green. And then we have the beautiful Orchid Oasis. I even like the little patterns this year. It's striped on one side, flowered, and then this is something tied. I I don't know, I can't remember. And then this one is so pretty. This one here is a sweet sorbet, and it's much different than, let me grab my, this is the real red, and then somebody else thought it looked like Poppy Parade. To me, this one compared to the others has a little bit of a pink tinge to it. This is the Poppy Parade, so you can see it's really in between. This has a little bit of a pink tinge to it. All right, so if you're interested in that, it starts, the payment is due by May 10th, and you will get your kit at the end of the month or earlier if it comes in. I like to overestimate because of shipping issues. And in that, you will get one stamp pad, a regular marker, I'm just grabbing any refill, a refill, 4 sheets of a matching cardstock, 8 sheets of that designer series paper that I just showed you, 2 yards of the in-color ribbon, and a complete card in your kit. And that is $24. If you'd like to add on the blends that match, it's $9. I'm not charging you any shipping or tax on the blends. Now, this is for people that are local pickups. If you live out of town or out of state and you want to participate in this, you certainly can, but you will have to pay the additional shipping. We can work something out, so just reach out to me if it's something that you're interested in. And then the final one, boy, this crop, the seats are selling quickly. It's out to the American Legion in Litchfield. It's $35. May 14th, 8 to 4. Okay, let me see what this question says. Yes, Donna, you're all set on the paper share. Yep, Donna, you're all set. So if you're interested in this, you can reach out to me or Tammy for your tickets. And then the final last piece of housekeeping, look what I have. I finally got my catalogs. I just need a day or two to get labels on them, pretty them up a little bit for you guys. So I'll reach out to you since it's Easter weekend. Probably by Monday, people can start picking them up. So if you've ordered from me in the last 6 months, you automatically get one. If you don't have a current demonstrator and you would like one, I'd be more than happy to be yours. If you have any questions about if you're going to get one, not get one, just reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you out. But it's so pretty. Okay. Okay. Yay, huh? All right, so let's get started with our class. First I was cold, now I'm hot, so I got to peel a layer off here. You know how that is when you live in Maine. So the first card, which is an old trick I wanted to bring back, is this beautiful Polish pink. For those of you that have been with me for a while, we probably made one of these a long time ago. The secret is you need to use glossy cardstock. Everybody always asks me, can I use photo paper? I'm never going to say no, you cannot use something, but you're not going to get the same effect. So I really want people to understand that. You can use any paper you want, but you may not get the same effect that I have here. So the background here is that beautiful brick. And you can see that when I did it, I got it very detailed. So what I did was I take my paper. This is the one that's going away. Magenta Madness. So if you want a really detailed, it helps to spritz your paper. Now everybody's going to have a different opinion. I use just a light spritz of rubbing alcohol. because it dries faster than if you dampen it. So you're going to hear a noise in the background. That is my electric embossing machine. This particular folder obviously will not fit through your mini embossing machine, but if you have the large one, it will fit through that. The other thing is I like to remind people every now and then when you're using your embossing folders, always make sure that the folded edge is going in the direction that you're embossing. Because I have tons of split embossing folders, because people, when I have large in-person classes, people would forget that. And what happens is the pressure builds up and then this ends up cracking or splitting. The other thing is this is exactly 6 inches, which most of the larger embossing machines are the same. So really make sure that you have it lined up well. And you have to use the sandwich mechanism based on your particular cutter. But see how detailed it makes it when you add that little bit of alcohol. And it's almost dry now while waiting. So let's do the other part. I'm going to do a bigger piece and cut it down so you can see what I did. It is a messy job, so for those of you that are neat and don't like to get your hands dirty, and you've never done this, I'm not too sure you're going to like it. So we start with cotton balls. Some people put them on the end of a clothespin. I actually couldn't find one today, so I'm going to use my hands. You need some rubbing alcohol and our ink refills. So I'm just going to take the alcohol, wet my cotton ball, doesn't need to be saturated, but pretty wet. You can squeeze out the excess. So I want top of this to be more on the Magenta Madness. I'm just going to start with 1 drop. And you're going to see the reaction. And I'm just spreading. I want to show you different things you can do. You can twirl it. You can go back and forth. You can dab it. And then I want to add another color to the other side. So I'm going to take I have a little bit of that. I'm going to show you what the dabbing looks like when you use 2 colors. Again, it only takes a drop. And you get it all over your hands. Connie, you can see my hands are filthy already. You're watching. For those of you that are asking if you signed up, I'll double check after I get off from class. So now I'm just dabbing this. And you can put as much or as little as you want. And I can even come over here if I wanted to add a little bit more. It dries fairly quickly because it's alcohol. And you get these like water. So while that's drying, I'm going to try to clean up my hands just a little bit. And don't get it all over my card. A little hand cleaner will usually get the worst of it off. So let me see. Oh, yeah, Sharon. I'm one of those people, though, that doesn't mind getting her hands dirty. Alright. I think it's all dry. I'm just going to double check. You could take your heat gun if you have one. All right, so now I got to cut this down a little bit. Let me grab my cutter. Oh, it's my old one here, peeps. All right, so I want this to be 1.5 inches. By 4.25. So I'm going to keep this for another one. If you like to die cut pretty flowers, oh man, you can make some beautiful flowers doing that. So now I'm going to stamp the daisy from the Daisy Lane stamp set. And I am going to use StazOn ink because when you use this glossy paper, what do you mean you can't see anything? Okay, so I thought everything was okay. Is everything okay? Because it looks fine on my end. Looks fine on my end. Of course, you're going to get a different view if you're watching on a phone versus... So, it looks... Kathy's okay. Connie Clavette's good. Ronnie's good. Sharon's good. Connie, Richard, try going out and coming back in to see if that makes any difference. All right. So sometimes that will make a difference, Connie. Nope. Connie, go out. Go out. Click out of this and then come back in and you should be okay. Okay, so I'm using StazOn ink because this is a slippery surface. I'm just going to hold that there a minute. So I know I have a couple of new people on, and I just want to explain the difference between the two inks. Hold on a minute. Yeah, while that dries, I want to tell people. So StazOn ink is an alcohol-based ink. And you get this little plastic cover, and do not throw it out. You need to keep that because this is alcohol and it would dry out quickly. So, people will say, what is the difference between Tuxedo Black and StazOn? The difference is the type of inks. StazOn is an alcohol permanent type ink. So if you think of like your Sharpies or your blends, if they hit water, they're not going to dissolve or run or any of that. Tuxedo Black is a dye-based ink. So when you're using your regular markers, your Marvelous markers, to color, you want to stamp with StazOn. If you're using your blends, which I don't have any in front of me, you want to use Memento Black. Now, the second tip that I want to tell you is we're strongly encouraged to never use StazOn with our photopolymer stamps because that's a chemical and it will damage your stamp. I'm speaking firsthand. That's happened to me. Because it causes a chemical reaction. So if you can't remember all of this, it's a lot to take in. Just text me and I will write it up for you. So now I want to stamp that cute little daisy or flower right on top here. And because this is a slippery surface, I need to give it a few seconds to let that alcohol evaporate and dry before I touch it. So I used just a plain old white background, black, I can't even talk. So I'm going to put a piece of black twine in the annual catalog. There is an option there to purchase 5 colors of twine. If you're interested and can't find it, again, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to look it up for you. All right, where's my tape? I don't have any masking tape here, so I'm going to use my tape runner. Now, when I'm using an embossing folder that I've really pressed hard on like this with the alcohol, I like to use my Tombow Wet Glue. Some people call it the green cap glue. There's many people call it many different things. Once you get used to using Tombow, you're going to like it. The hardest part, people don't take, oops, it's like I need to cut a little bit. I didn't cut that right. All right, let's do a fix right here on mine. Let me check. Oh yeah, it's 5 1/2. I only want it at 5 1/4. Snip that right off. Come back. We're going to fix it right up. Not a problem. I'm going to hold that down for a minute. I'm going to attach this beautiful, try not to touch it too much, really give it a chance to get cured. We need some dimensionals on the back of it. High heels, as somebody once called them. I laugh every time I think of that. Oh good, I'm glad everybody's seeing it okay. So then I'm going to put this a little bit right here to the left. Then I'm going to make my bow. 2 loops, I call them bunny ears. 2 loops and tie a knot with the loops. Then you can hold your knot and pull the tails till it's the side that you want it to be. Alright, let's get some good scissors here. Ribbon scissors, as I call them. Okay. I'm going to grab a glue dot, roll it up. And I'm going to put it on the black because, again, because that's slippery. I like to use this little trick because then I can put my bow exactly where I want it. So put your ribbon or your twine on the cheating method. I didn't not put any words on this because I don't know what I'm going to use it for. So you can see every time you create this, it can come out different. So look at those for a couple minutes. I'll get ready for the next project. Get this stuff out of our way. Alright, so project number 2. Alright, so let me set those there. So then project number 2 is having fun with our layer in circles dies. This is probably one of the best investments I've ever made. You get 16 different size circles. Half of them are scalloped and half of them are... So you can decide how big... Here's the sample. Oops. Oh no, things are falling down. All right, let's get the stuff out. So you can see how this part of my card is raised. You can determine how wide you want that by the size of your circles. I got my card in ink. Have you ever done that? It's not my first time, and it sure won't be my last. I used Coral Calypso. That's not a color that I normally use, but I was online or something and saw a posting by somebody, another demonstrator, I'm sure, about challenging yourself to a different color that you don't normally use. So I took advantage of the challenge. So standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. First mat is 4 by 5 1/4. Upper mat is 5 by 3 3/4. And I am using the beautiful, lovely, amazing silhouette. I'm actually going to give this card to my granddaughter. I'm going to have a proud Nana's moment here. She's been wanting to go to a math and science high school here in Maine. And there's only really a couple. One is way up north. That was her first choice. And the second one was Baxter in Portland. And she got into Baxter. So she is so excited. And I'm so proud of her. So in September, off to high school she goes. I don't think I'm old enough to have a high school grandchild. It's like, ooh, I shouldn't be that old, but I am. Who else can relate to that they don't think they're old enough to have high school grandchildren? Seems like she was just born. So I'm going to walk my stamp pad because this is a big stamp. It's just so pretty though. Alright, I'm going to need that again. I'm going to stamp it towards the left of my card. Hold it there. Yes, I'm so proud of her. Oh, we have another proud grandmother on here. High school, I know. Oof. Doesn't seem like we should be old enough for that. Alright, then I'm going to put Smile down in the corner. This is an old pad. It's still cloth. That shows you how little I use it. I'm going to put that right down there in the corner. Hold it there just for a second. Oh my goodness, Diane. So we all have great babies, don't we? Alright, so I'm going to grab a Post-it note. Let me get my cutter set up here. So I'm going to place these. I like to place the big one first so that I don't go too far over on the edge. And place that one there. And then that one, whoop, right about there. And then I'm going to take a Post-it note to hold the whole thing while it runs through the machine. Because Post-it notes are removable. Alright. So I know it probably looks like a pretty simple card, but it's really the technique that I'm trying to teach you. We all know how to make cards. So then you end up with your card base, your raised ring, and the inside. Let me put these away before I lose them. I put a little magnetic sheet in mine to help keep them in place. So I'm going to attach this to the mat first, using my favorite adhesive, Tombow. Yes, I'm so happy for her. She was just so ecstatic. All right, so because I made my ring thinner, I'm going to use mini pop-ups. I'm going to put a lot of them because it's pretty fragile. And put that one in the right place, so let me move it. All right, so then it's those of you that like to do puzzles, it would be really fun to send all these parts to a friend and see if they can get it made right. So I'm matching up where it would go, which I'm not doing a very good job because I'm using this down here. And then this one, I'm going to put the wet glue behind. And then I want to dress it up a little bit with these cute adhesive sequins. I'm going to put one up here, a couple, one on the eye, and I'm going to put a couple on the actual image. Oh, probably right there. Let me bring in the other sample. So next week will be fun fold, fancy fold, whatever you call it. And then inside of it, I stamped for her. I stamped the second generation, and then it's your time to shine. So there's tonight's class. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Let me see if there's any questions I can answer. All right, looks good on my end. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I hope you have a great holiday. Celebrate Easter. I'm thinking of you all. All right, have fun. Bye-bye. I'll see you next week.